Welcome to this note-taking listening practice. Today, we will examine greenwashing, one of the most common and controversial marketing practices of the 21st century. Before the lecture begins, please take a look at the 5 subheadings on your screen to help structure your notes. You can also download the complete note-taking outline as a free PDF from the description below. Get your pen and paper ready, and let's begin.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start with a quick question. Think about the last time you bought something because the label said eco-friendly, sustainable, or carbon neutral. Did you trust it? For most people, the answer is yes. And that trust is exactly what companies are counting on. Today, we are going to look at a practice called greenwashing, which basically means making a product or company look environmentally friendly when it really is not. The term was first used in 1986 by an American environmentalist named J. Westerveld. He was staying at a hotel that had placed signs in the bathrooms asking guests to reuse their towels to help protect the environment. But Westerveld noticed something odd. At the same time, the hotel was building new rooms, clearing land, and using more and more resources. The towel campaign was not about saving the planet. It was about saving money on laundry while looking good to guests. That gap between pretending to care about the environment and actually doing nothing about it is what Westerveld called greenwashing.
So this has been going on since the 80s? I thought it was a recent thing because of social media.
The word is from the 80s, but the practice really took off in the 2000s, when climate change became a bigger public concern. As people started asking for greener products, companies realized that looking sustainable was very profitable and much cheaper than actually becoming sustainable. That logic is still driving the problem today. Let's look at some real examples. One of the most well-known cases involves Volkswagen. In 2015, it came out that the company had installed special software in about 11 million diesel cars. This software could detect when the car was being tested for emissions and would temporarily reduce pollution levels to pass the test. But under normal driving conditions, those same cars were releasing pollutants at up to 40 times the legal limit, while being advertised as clean and eco-friendly. The scandal led to more than $30 billion in fines, and it showed that greenwashing can go far beyond a misleading label. It can involve serious, large-scale dishonesty.
Is this mainly a big company problem, or do smaller brands do it too?
It happens at all levels, but it is especially harmful when large companies do it because so many people are affected. The fashion industry is a good example. Many fast fashion brands launch what they call sustainable or conscious collections. But when researchers look closely at these brands, they usually find that the eco-friendly fabrics make up only a very small part of what they produce. The main business, making huge amounts of cheap clothing that quickly ends up in landfill, has not changed at all. The green collection is really just a marketing tool. So why does greenwashing work? Why do smart consumers keep falling for it? The main reason is psychology. When people see a green label or a leaf symbol on a product, something called the halo effect kicks in. That one positive signal makes people assume the whole product, and even the whole company, is environmentally responsible, even when there is no real evidence of this. There is also the issue of information. If a company says its product is 30% more energy efficient, most people do not have the knowledge to ask, 30% more efficient than what? Compared to what? Companies use this kind of vague language on purpose. It sounds good, but is almost impossible to check. And research in psychology shows something even more worrying. When people feel they have made an ethical purchase, they often feel less motivated to take further action for the environment. So greenwashing does not just take people's money. It can also take away their motivation to make a real difference.
So it takes money and action at the same time?
Exactly. It redirects people's genuine concern for the environment into something that benefits companies, while the real problems stay unsolved. Now, is greenwashing actually illegal? Increasingly, yes. In the United States, the Federal Trade Commission has published a set of rules called the Green Guides, which tell companies what they can and cannot claim about their products. In the European Union, a new law called the Green Claims Directive was introduced in 2023. This law requires companies to back up any environmental claim with real, independently verified evidence. Terms like carbon neutral or climate friendly are now banned unless a company can prove them. Companies that break this law can be fined up to 4% of their global annual income. One area that deserves special attention is carbon offsetting. When a company says it is carbon neutral because it pays for tree planting or forest protection projects somewhere else. The idea makes sense in theory, but in practice, a major investigation by journalists in 2023 found that more than 90% of rainforest carbon credits from one well-known certifier were basically worthless. The carbon savings had been greatly exaggerated, and some of the forests that were supposedly being protected were actually being cut down anyway. So claims of carbon neutrality need to be looked at very carefully. So what can consumers do? First, look for specific claims, not vague ones. Made from 50% recycled materials is clear and can be checked. Planet-friendly means nothing. Second, look for independent certification from well-known external organizations, not labels that the company made up itself. Third, look at the company as a whole. One green product from a company that causes a lot of environmental damage and everything else it does is rarely a sign of genuine change. In the end, greenwashing exists because looking green is cheap and profitable, while actually being green is expensive and difficult. Stricter laws, like the EU's Green Claims Directive, are a step in the right direction, but whether legal pressure and more informed consumers will be enough to close the gap between green image and green reality is still an open question, and one that will matter a great deal for the environment in the years to come. That brings us to the end of today's lecture. Thank you for your attention and your insightful questions, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all in our next session.
All right, it is time to test your notes. Answer the following questions and check your score. Good luck! That concludes today's listening session. To stay updated with our next videos, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye for now.